Hello my friends, so I've got a busy day, plants today. So I've got this plant in the window behind me. I suppose some people will have noticed before, any of my plant people. So it's a Philodendron Brazil, and there's one on either side. They're both in semi-hydro. I grew some cuttings in water, and some are a transfer from soil. They were all plants. I mean, that one, it looks like there's probably one of the plants is dead because there's more than one plant in each pot. So I'm going to start with that one first. I don't expect it to be good, my friends. I expect root rot, possibly. So I'm going to get on that. Right, I've got to go up ladders because I'm short, guys. Just going to unhook these. Okay, so I've got it down. And as you can see, this one has a wick. This is just an old tea towel. So what I'm going to do is just move this pot out the way. Now this plant is in a wick setup. I've got, it's actually a dog bowl, and it's raised up using these terracotta plant feet. So I'm going to tip that away, and I'll freshen that up when I've got some solution made up. Right, now I'm going to tip this out and have a look what we're dealing with. I'm just checking these roots now. That one's okay. I'm just going to rinse it off just to be sure. Not bothered if I break a bit. Now what I'm seeing here, because this plant was transferred from soil into leca without a transition, there was more than likely still a bit of soil left on it, so it hasn't taken to the transition brilliantly. So I'm thinking that's okay. There's no roots coming off it, so even though it looks a bit poorly, I'm going to remove these leaves, and I'm going to try something actually what I've seen on good old YouTube. When side leaves have broken or come off or died, I don't know actually whether to, I don't think I am going to save that because I thought that was fresh growth, but it isn't. So I don't think it's worth doing anything with that, to be fair. So that's chucking. I'm interested in the roots. I'm not interested in the foliage. See, these roots have started to go white, which is what we want. They're water roots. The other roots are black, and I think they are black due to the soil which was left on them. and I'm pulling them and they are coming off, some of them. So I'm just going to rinse it under the tap. Now if you can see here, it's very, very leggy. So I think I'm going to have to do some cropping if I intend to save it. The roots aren't pulling away. Some of them have, but not all of them. See, that has. And these side ones that are brown are, but they're white at the bottom, you see. And you see the difference? I'm going to have to untangle this mess. See, when they're like this and they're all floppy, they're no good to me whatsoever. So I'm just pulling these away, and any that are rotten will come away. If they're not, they will stay. Simple as that. But because the leaves are yellowing, it suggests to me that the plant is not doing very well. It looks a sorry state of affairs. So I may just cut my losses and bin that one. This one, however, the roots are white. So this one, you can see where the roots are going white, but there's also roots that are not. So, I don't know, it doesn't look like it's worth saving, you guys. Because the roots that are not. This one looks all right, but it is starting to go a bit brown there. So I've had a look, it's not brilliant. There's 2 viable ones, I think. So I'm gonna put some hydrogen peroxide on the roots of the ones that are okay, but still a little bit rotty like. So I'm gonna have a chop at those. But I'm going to take the other one down now and see what that's like. I don't think it'll be too bad. There's one that has got some leggy bits on, so I'd like to have a look at that one really. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. See, it's this one. So I may just, yeah, that's rotted. So I'll get try and get that out, that root rot, because I don't want that in my plants. Thanks. And these little clip things. Right, let's have a look. See, I love these pots. And I wanted that to work, but I don't think it has. But unless we try, we don't know, do we? So I'm just going to have a look at these roots. So this one, you can see this in my hand, in my fingers. That is like totally rotted, but it has got water roots here where they're white. So I'm just going to cut the brown off and I'm going to whack it in some hydrogen peroxide. I'm just going to do it with a kitchen knife. Be very careful around the other roots. See, inside that, it doesn't look bad at all, but I don't want to risk any infection of any kind. I just haven't got my pruners, that's all. That's getting a little bit black there, and we don't want that. But the roots in general are good water roots, so I'm just checking the rest of the plant, because if there's any leggy bits, I don't really want those. See, there's a bit there that's started to go too leggy, so I'm going to cut that off. But I'll have a look at the other ones first. See, that one's gone, but that one, it's hard to say. I'm just going to hydrogen peroxide this. See, is it even worth saving? Oh yeah, there's a bit there. I might lob that off then and just keep that bottom bit, which is what I'm going to do, because that'll look rubbish. So I'll get my scissors, my whatchamacallits in a minute. What about this one? That one's okay. Yeah, it's not leggy. I wanted to show you actually something. See, look at that. But there's a root there as well. So with this lecker that I'm just removing, same with the other one, it will be reused, but it needs to be boiled first. And there's quite a bit of it, so I am going to do it at another time, because but then I've got quite a lot of it actually, because I've got some outside, so I might have a day of doing that. I'm going to do it. So there's my lecker on the boil, some of it anyway. I'll leave it for about 10 minutes. In this part, it's lecker that's had root rot. There's loads of rotten roots, vegetation that's rotted. So I'll show you what I'm going to do with this now, because it's got so much in there, so much rotted roots. So this is what I do. This gets all the roots to the top. You are going to get some lecker floating to the top, because some lecker does, I don't know why. But this is what I do, and it's the easiest way to get the floaters to the top. get any floating roots out, and then I'll boil it once I've done that. I boiled the leca and I boiled the pots that they were in. So I've got fresh slate with all my plants now. So first of all, we want to sort this philodendron out. Now, I've got this. It's just an empty pole. It's an old one that's been used that I didn't think was right for what I wanted it for. So what I think I'm going to do is use this pot and put the empty moss pole in there just to act as a support for it. But I'm not sure whether to attach it to the outside of the pot and maybe make some holes so it goes like that. Maybe cut it up the sides. Right, I think I will do that actually. I can find my scissors. Everything's such a mess here. Absolute mess. Right, so I do want it as flat as I can. So I'm going to squeeze it so it's flat like that. And then I'll slot it. So if I put that there, and put the other side in about the same place. Slot it over like that, and I will be putting it back in the ceramic pot, but I've had to make a few changes with it, which I'll show you in a minute when I've put this. That will be like that. I might have it hugging into the pot like that. I think I'll secure it actually with some cable ties a bit further down. So if you've seen my videos before, you will know how I make holes in my plastic pots. So I'm going to do the same with this plastic moss pole. So it's secure in the pot and it will look okay. Well, as okay as a plastic empty pole will look anyway. So I'm just going to put that there and get this secure. So I want it like that. I don't care if it's straight at the top or not, particularly, because it will be going up against the wall anyway, like that. So that's not really the problem. So I'm going to make a hole in the back of this. Shame you can't see it very well. But the soldering iron just basically melts the hole into it. Just make it a little bit bigger because you see it's very dirty, but I'm not it's dirty, but I'm not a fancy gardener by any means. So I'm just going to thread it through, and because I've got holes in the pot anyway, that's fine, but I can create more if I need to, which is what I'm going to do. Just to give me a bit more choice of whereabouts I can have it. And I'll probably drill some more around this as well. soldering iron means you can line it up however you want to, just that. So that can come out there and be attached to that. And if there's any sticking out like that, it's fine because I can cut that off. So I've got it done that side, so I will need to do it the other side. Yes, it's a bit wonky, but as I say, it will be against that in that part. That'll be alright, fine. So I'm just going to cut these cable ties off. That should fit nice and snug. The next bit is tying this philodendron to this pole while it's lying flat. So first things first, we need to find these decent plants. And I'm going to cut it back to where it starts to go leggy, which, if you can see there, is that whole bit there, isn't it? So that's going to come off. So I'm just going to cut it there. Which is a shame. But root rot is root rot, isn't it? So I've cut the majority away. Let's cut that bit off. I am going to hydrogen peroxide what's left, just to be safe. See, that's a bit rotty there. I'm just going to go for it. Just cut it back. Right, so I'm going to get my hydrogen peroxide and get the best of the bad bunch. That one looks fine. So that's going to go in, that's going to go in. They're all gone. That one is okay, but it's very leggy. So I'm going to cut that back to that bit because this is just more trouble and it's going to look stupid. So I'm going to cut that right back to that new growth there. So yes, it's still got a root, which is going to go in hydrogen peroxide now with the rest of these. That one is rotted there, but there is still a root there. So I'm going to cut it back to that new root there.
that's very leggy, but it's not too bad. I have got something which is called cakey, it's probably not pronounced that way, cloning paste, which you basically put on any nodes and it has the potential to sprout new growth from the sides. So I'm going to try a little bit of that. You're supposed to do it one at a time, I think, one node at a time. So I'll do that, and if it works on the first one, then I'll do the rest. And I think that's it, folks. I think the rest are... Oh, hang on. What's that one? Is that the... No, that's not the leggy one. This doesn't look bad. So I'm going to give this one a go. That looks okay, actually. I'm going to cut that bit there, that black bit. Anything black or brown, we don't really want it. Some roots on some plants though, they are dark anyway, so you do have to be careful. See these here? I don't want those. They're going. Black bits on the tips there, I'll take those back. And that bit there, that's looking a bit dodgy, so I'll take that off. Anything that's looking a bit suspicious is coming off, my friends, because it's not worth it. It's not worth infecting the rest of your plant. So that's looking a bit dodgy there as well, so that can come back a bit. Of course, we don't want to be cutting all the roots off, but we want to also give our plant the best chance. I'm thinking here that one is a bit dodgy, so that can come off. We'll just keep those and hope they will be okay. So I'm going to get some hydrogen peroxide now. So this is hydrogen peroxide. I haven't measured it. I've just put a little bit and I'm going to see if it fizzes. And if it doesn't, I'm just going to put it a little bit more until it does, because when it fizzes, it means it's seeing to the rot for me. See the bubbles? That's working on any root rot. So it's still fizzing a little bit, but I have read online that you shouldn't do it for any longer than half an hour. It's been in there for an hour, so I'm thinking if it's going to do anything, it would have done it by now, so I'm going to rinse them off. Not sure whether I can keep that, but it looks a bit... I'll chuck it. Right, so here's my pot with the moss pole, empty moss pole attached. So this is how I will have it, like that. So I need to leave a centimetre maybe from the top. So what I'm going to do is lay this down. I think I'll pop it on its maybe there so you can see. So I'll put the large one on first, I think. Now, I mentioned before about this paste. What it is, you put it on the node just reminds me of Vicks Vapor Rub. So you scrape a little bit of the node. So let me just bring you closer. So perhaps here, I'm just going to scrape a little bit off there and apply a little bit of this paste. And that's what it's like. On there, not much, just a dab there. And I'm going to do some on one of the others as well. Be interesting to see if it works. I doubt it will, but let's try. You don't know, do you? This way. Put some of this on here. And I'm going to actually mark it so I can see if it has actually worked. There's the inside of the pot and the roots are pointing down, and that's what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and backfill with the media that I plan to use, which is semi-hydro, but soil works just as well. So I've got my semi-hydro, so I'm just going to put that in now.
As you can see, all the hooks around the frame, so as it starts to grow it'll be able to be anchored, but it needed some attention, so we gave it some, and it will be ready to go for spring.